Hi, my name's John Furman. I've been a medical researcher for over 30 years. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to risk my entire career to show you something no dentist will ever tell you. So please, listen carefully. This is a dental photo of a 51-year-old Inuit woman living in a remote region of the Arctic. She has never been to the dentist once, has never flossed or used a water pick, and has never even brushed her teeth a single time in her entire life. And yet, she has better teeth than almost 99.9% of Americans. And it's not just her. Researchers found every member of her tribe had perfect teeth, even though none of them did a single thing to take care of them. How's this possible? How can they have perfect teeth when most people struggle with cavities, root canals, and gum infections? I can tell you right now, it has nothing to do with brushing your teeth after every meal, flossing until your gums bleed, or how often you visit your dentist, or even how much sugar you eat, or any other lie you've been told about dental health. Instead, it's related to an ancient 8-second mineral ritual that researchers from the University of Harvard have recently found, which has been handed down from generation to generation by the residents of a remote Inuit tribe that have some of the healthiest and most perfect teeth on Earth. This simple 8-second mineral ritual rapidly reduces tooth decay, lowers inflammation, and tightens up loose teeth, and immediately targets and works to rebuild your teeth. Plus, it naturally boosts your immune system, helping your body clear up any nasty and painful tooth infections, reducing bad breath, and leaving your mouth feeling silky clean. And as you'll see, studies show the more you use it, the more your oral health improves. Yes, you may be feeling skeptical, and you should be. I was too. Yet, as unbelievable as it sounds, this is all possible with an oddly simple and perfectly safe 8-second mineral ritual that you can do at home right now. You see, in the next 3 minutes and 21 seconds, you'll be shocked to discover what scientists from Oxford, Stanford, and the University of Harvard have proven to be the hidden root cause of your dental problems. It all comes down to something called a bioshield, an invisible shield made of special minerals that covers your teeth, naturally protecting them. And breakthrough studies from top institutions show that this special shield is totally destroyed in you and every single person with dental problems. Meaning at this moment, it's impossible to have good teeth no matter how much you try. But fear not, the solution is so simple and easy it may anger you, and it doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've been dealing with dental issues, or how bad your teeth are now. It will totally transform your mouth, your smile, and your whole life, just like it already has for thousands of people.
You've saved me thousands of dollars on dental bills. This is the best thing I have ever done.
I've struggled with bad teeth my whole life. Now the pain is gone and my teeth are stronger than ever.
I can't believe how easy this was. My teeth are perfect now and I never worry about my breath anymore.
Furman, you saved my teeth. I don't know what I would have done without you.
I truly believe this is the final solution to tooth decay and gum disease. I've risked my career to get this message out, so watch this video to the very end before my lawyers force me to take it down. Just imagine, no more painful bleeding gums or metallic taste in your mouth, no more infections, cavities, or tooth removal, no more painful chewing or relying on expensive pain relievers just to get through the day, and no more coated tongue, bad breath, or feeling embarrassed as your loved ones step back when you talk to them. Instead, you'll be beaming with confidence and a Hollywood smile, leaving friends and family in shock with your transformation, with everyone asking if you've gotten veneers. You'll be amazed when you discover this simple 8-second mineral ritual that you can do at home right away to get perfect, white, shiny teeth faster than you ever dreamed possible. I'll share all the studies from top universities to back up everything I'm saying about how and why this works. All this and more inside this short video I can't wait for you to see. It's time to break free from the prison of bad teeth once and for all. The time is now. Are you ready? Like I said, my name is John Furman, and when I first discovered this, I was shocked. In the 31 years I've been a medical researcher, I wasn't taught any of this. But in the next few minutes, I'm going to go against the entire dental industry to expose the truth about how to improve perfect teeth and gums in a way so simple you'll be angry it's been hidden for you for so long. But before I do, I hope you won't mind if I tell you why I care so deeply about helping you to get your healthy smile back. It all started a little over a year ago. I was visiting my parents for our routine Sunday dinner. I remember vividly that it was one of the first cool days of fall here in Arizona. It was that evening that I noticed something peculiar going on with my mother's mouth. More specifically, it was one of her teeth. See, Mom was in the middle of a story that was pretty darn funny, and her mouth cracked open in this wide smile. Right away, I noticed that one of her front canine teeth was much yellower than the rest, and the root of it was especially yellow, almost more of a brown. It was kind of gross to look at. Yes, I didn't want to be rude, so I wasn't going to say anything, but then a bit later, as we were eating dinner together, I couldn't help but notice how my mom kept wincing as she chewed. And when I looked closer, it seemed as though she was shifting her food around in her mouth, trying to avoid that one yellow tooth. So I asked my mom if her tooth was okay, and if she wanted me to take a look at it. She just laughed. She told me her tooth was a little tender, but that it wasn't anything to make a fuss about. I didn't love my mom's answer, but I didn't want to push her. She seemed a little on edge. So I let it go and hoped it would resolve on its own. Unfortunately, though, that's not what happened. In the weeks that followed, it was like whatever had caused her first tooth to turn yellow was spreading. More and more of her teeth were taking on that harvest moon yellow tinge. And while it's awful to say this, whenever Mom opened her mouth to tell a story or to let out one of her signature belly-rumbling laughs, I had to turn my head to avoid smelling her breath. And around this time, Mom began having horrible sinus problems too, along with these severe allergies that never went away. She constantly complained about getting a poor night's sleep and how her head was just pounding. Yet even with all of this going on, at first, Mom was still trying to underplay everything. Although she did tell me that she switched to a fancy electric toothbrush, started flossing more regularly, and that she even spent a couple $100s for one of those expensive water picks, which are those devices that shoot jets of water into your gums. Nothing my mom did was making a difference though. But then I noticed how Mom's gums looked all puffy and inflamed. I caught her taking a napkin to her mouth during a meal, then quickly tried to hide it because she didn't want me to see the blood. And some of her teeth were even becoming loose, which I only noticed because Mom couldn't resist wiggling them with her tongue. And that's when I finally lost my patience, raised my voice, and insisted that she come into my office. She finally agreed. You see, my mom wasn't keen on going to the dentist, even if it was her own son handling it. When she did come in, I was horrified with what I saw. Loose teeth, bleeding gums, and a foul smell, even with my mask on. It was clear she was dealing with a serious infection. I prescribed some antibiotics, which I later found out was a huge mistake, and told her to come back in 2 weeks. Yet, not only did her mouth not improve, things kept getting worse, to the point where my mom started making jokes about how she could have been a vampire if she was born in Transylvania, because she was so used to that metallic taste of blood that was always in her mouth that she didn't even mind it anymore. It wasn't funny though. I was starting to get worried because the antibiotics didn't seem to be working, and then things went from bad to worse. It was an unseasonably warm night in December, just 2 days before Christmas, and I'd come over to my parents' house to help my mom bake a batch of her famous sugar cookies, which we'd made together every holiday season since I was a toddler. It's one of our favorite traditions. And I remember how Mom had just preheated the oven, and she was laughing more than usual, and just seemed to be in such good spirits, probably because of the holidays, when suddenly her legs began to wobble. And then Mom collapsed to the ground. I didn't know if she'd suffered a serious cardiovascular event or what had happened. My hand shook as I dialed 911, terrified that each passing second could be my mom's last. The ambulance's sirens and lights pierced through the night as we rushed into the ER. The doctors and nurses swarmed my mother, taking her away as they frantically tried to stabilize her. All we could do was pray. When the neurologist finally appeared, it felt like I'd been stabbed with a knife. You see, it turned out Mom hadn't had heart complications. In fact, the doctors said her collapse was probably just related to low blood pressure. But my relief quickly turned to dread as the doctor dimmed the lights and pulled up an MRI scan. He circled his pen around the dozens of white specks peppering nearly every region of my mother's brain. The doctor said this was mostly bacteria, although there might also be some fungus too. I stared in horror at the image, each glowing blob representing an infection boring deeper into the crevices of my mother's brain. And while he understood it was probably scary for us to look at that, he said we shouldn't be too alarmed. Not too alarmed. That was easy for him to say, but I was sick to my stomach, and I tried to keep the anger from showing in my voice. I had a suspicion that this had something to do with her mouth, so I asked the doctor his thoughts on the matter. He answered, "It wouldn't surprise me. Mouth bacteria spreading to other parts of the body is very common." The doctor also said that scientists had recently realized that both bacteria and fungus can leave your mouth and cross what's known as the blood-brain barrier, or the latch onto the brain. Even worse, he said health experts were uncovering new types of superorganisms too, that were combinations of fungus and bacteria. And he told me how these scientists said those superorganisms could effectively sprout limbs and spread rapidly through your body. It was like something out of a horror movie. And since I had already given her antibiotics, the doctor said he had no clue on what else could be done, that the best thing we could do is keep monitoring things and have Mom come in for regular brain scans. Leaving the hospital that December night just before Christmas, all I could feel was this sense of dread. I didn't know what this bacteria spreading onto my mom's brain really meant, but I did know this. Unless I found a way to help my mom improve the health of her mouth, I would spend every day terrified that whatever was inside her would continue to grow. I couldn't live like that. I know how dangerous it is when infections enter the bloodstream. It's been linked to heart disease, joint pain, cognitive decline, and a variety of other health conditions. And while my mother didn't have any of those issues yet, I didn't want to take any chances. We went to another specialist for a second opinion, but he said the same thing. And discussions with my colleagues led nowhere. So I was left with no other choice. I threw myself into a desperate race against the clock, determined to find a way to help my mother improve her poor oral health. From that point on, I spent every waking hour sifting through research papers and reading recent findings related to bacteria in the mouth. I already knew about something called translocation, which is really just a fancy scientific term for what happens when bacteria leaves the mouth, enters our blood vessels, and then travels to distant organs, including our brains. But they only glossed over it in grad school, so I dug into the latest findings. Now, translocation in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, because just like your gut has both good and bad bacteria, your mouth has good and bad bacteria too. And pretty much every time you swallow any saliva, some of that bacteria travels into your digestive tract and heads towards your gut. The problem, though, is that while much of the good bacteria that's in your mouth gets eaten away by stomach acid, scientists have found that certain types of bad bacteria in our mouths are resistant to that same stomach acid. Take the bacteria strain P. gingivalis, for example. Like you can probably guess from the name, this bacteria is responsible for gingivitis, and it eats away at gum tissues, can destroy teeth, and lead to tooth loss. Well, in a major scientific paper published in 2021 by an international team of Chilean and Japanese researchers, they found that not only is this invasive bacteria acid-resistant, but it can change the composition of our gut, leading to digestive problems, migrate to our colons, where it changes our colonic function, cause stomach issues, metabolic disorders and weight gain, and even weaken our body's natural immune defenses. And the worst part? All it takes is us swallowing our saliva when P. gingivalis is present for this to happen. And here's the thing. P. gingivalis is just one type of bacteria, but researchers have found over 770 bacterial species living in the mouth. And they've also found that in addition to just swallowing bacteria, oral bacteria can also enter our bloodstream through several other ways too, including through cavities and inflamed gums. And from there, not only does this bacteria spread throughout our bloodstream, it can enter our lymph nodes too, all of which leads to a constant assault on our livers, hearts, digestive tracts, and our brains. And that's just bacteria. But fungus like Candida can also spread through our mouth and enter our bloodstream too, which is alarming because this fungus is quite common. Just ask anyone who often has a white film on their tongue. And the idea of our bodies being colonized by fungus is pretty horrible to think of, because systemic fungal infections can lead to bigger health problems. While all of this research is pretty terrible, it did also make me ask an even more basic question. What is all of this bad bacteria and fungus doing in our mouth anyways? I mean, think about it. It seems like dental care in this country has never been more advanced than it is today. So why does it seem like our mouths are worse than ever? It's pretty crazy. You can't even walk down the dental aisle at Target or CVS without seeing all kinds of fancy new electric toothbrushes, expensive water picks and aqua flossers, new brands of toothpaste, and better kinds of floss. The major mouthwash brands out there advertise that they kill 99.99% of the germs and bacteria that cause gingivitis and bad breath. And all the big food companies have spent billions of dollars to create and market products that have less sugar or in some cases zero sugar. Given all that, it seems like our teeth should be getting better, not worse, right? So what the hell is going on? I couldn't get this question out of my mind. And it's not just because it was interesting to think about, though it was. I needed to know the answer from my mom, because like I mentioned before, it seemed like she was doing everything the right way. Yet not only had her teeth become yellow, her gums turned bloody and inflamed, and her breath became rancid, but the bacteria and fungus that had started in her mouth was spreading through her body too. I feared I was running out of time. So I dug deeper, trying to understand where things went wrong and how even though we spend $162 billion on dental care each year in the US alone, our teeth keep getting worse. I've seen this firsthand in my own career. Was everything I taught a lie? The more I looked, the more I realized I'd been misled, which eventually caused me to abandon my career. Because what I uncovered truly shook me. It goes against so much of what we've been told by mainstream dentistry and the media at large. Yet it could also be the difference between you having a healthy mouth with white teeth, fresh breath, and picturesque pink gums, or struggling with oral issues for the rest of your life. So let me explain. The first culprit is something called fluoride. This toxic chemical is already controversial to a lot of people. Now, in school, I was taught that fluoride was essential when it comes to strong, cavity-free teeth. But as I soon realized, fluoride is actually an industrial waste product that is poisonous and does nothing for the health of our teeth. In fact, if you look at the fine print on almost all commercial toothpaste, you'll see this FDA warning. If accidentally swallowed, contact Poison Control Center immediately. Crazy, right? And yet, it's found in most major toothpaste you'll find at the supermarket, not to mention the tap water of roughly 73% of Americans. It's been sold to us as something that helps our teeth, when in fact, the exact opposite is true. A study from 2020 at New York University found that exposing our teeth to fluoride doesn't just lead to discolored teeth, but can also reduce mineralization, which is the process by which our teeth remain strong, weaken enamel, which is the hard outer layer of our teeth, significantly increasing the risk of tooth decay. And one of the main ways the bacteria spreads from our mouths to the rest of our bodies is through cavities and weak teeth. Here's another thing I uncovered. Cavities are extremely rare in nature. Ask any hunter. Wild animals always have amazing teeth, even though they never brush or go to the dentist. We're told the cavities are caused by eating too much sugar. But many animals, like monkeys and fruit bats, live exclusively on high-sugar fruits, and none of them have cavities in the wild. Although they start to develop cavities when they're kept in a zoo thanks to expert dental care. In the rare case an animal does get a cavity, 95% of the time the tooth heals itself without needing a filling. What else was a lie? How about brushing your teeth after every meal, or going to the dentist every 6 months? While I'm not saying you should never brush your teeth, it turns out that excessive cleaning is actually a major culprit behind our bad teeth. Just like any part of the human body, teeth have a special protective membrane, which protects your teeth from developing cavities. Excessive brushing strips away this protective layer called a bioshield, and this is what keeps teeth naturally healthy. And I'm ashamed to say that even regular teeth cleanings that I performed throughout my career could damage this protective layer, not to mention the high dose of fluoride I applied after cleaning. It's something I still regret, but I didn't know any better. And that's what makes it so important to me to share this with you today. The truth is, early humans never developed cavities because they never brushed their teeth, leaving this bioshield in place for lasting protection. Even today's tribal populations have fantastic teeth. No need for braces, no cavities, no dentists, no problems. Now, these are just a few of the shocking truths about dental health in America that I discovered, all of which can weaken your gums, destroy your teeth, and lead to the spreading of bacteria and fungus like Candida. It's pretty messed up. When you hear all this, you can start to feel hopeless and overwhelmed. Because it seems like when it comes to having strong teeth, fortified gums, and a healthy mouth, we must be doomed. I know that's how it felt for me, but it turns out I was wrong, because as I'm about to show you, there is hope. Doesn't matter how bad your dental issues are right now. The truth is, there is an extremely easy and effective way to fight back without spending $1 on expensive procedures, getting a fancy toothbrush or flossing all the time. In fact, this couldn't be easier. It worked wonders for my mother, and now worked wonders for thousands of others too. And I know it can be a blessing for you as well. So let me explain. You see, after discovering everything I've just shared with you, I felt like I'd finally learned the truth about what was causing most of our mouth issues, and maybe even a lot of our general health challenges too. But I didn't know what to do about it, and I was so frustrated that all I wanted to do was give up, except I couldn't, because I knew that if I didn't find a way to help my mom, nobody else would. So I pushed on, and it got me thinking, how do you rebuild this natural bioshield? And that's when it happened. The eureka moment that changed everything. And as usual, I was sitting on my computer doing research when I came across a very strange article that really caught my attention. It was about an Inuit tribe that lives in the Arctic. Anthropologists were studying the Inuit to understand how they survived in the harsh conditions of northern Canada, where temperatures regularly dropped to -50 degrees. What shocked the scientists was how great their teeth were, even though their only oral hygiene was a handful of water used to rinse their mouth after meals. I could feel the wheels starting to turn in my brain. And then the article went on to say that Inuit ate a lot of meat, which makes sense since they lived in the freezing cold where there wasn't much vegetation. Initially, they thought it was because they didn't eat a lot of sugar or carbohydrates. But the article points out that the Maya living in the Yucatan Peninsula also don't brush their teeth, have no dental decay, but their diet is mostly fruit, corn, and rice. Then they thought it was because they didn't eat processed foods, but that turned out to be only a small factor. So what was going on? It turns out that the Inuit routinely eat raw meat while it's still frozen. This was how they preserved their food. And this frozen meat preserved hundreds of species of good bacteria that colonized their mouth, teeth, and gums. And that a combination of these good bacteria is what formed the bioshield I talked about earlier. And in a flash, those 1,000 puzzle pieces connected into one crystal clear picture inside my brain. And I wondered, could poor dental health be from a lack of good probiotics in our mouths? To me, it made immediate sense. We know that probiotics, which are good bacteria, are essential to a healthy gut. And we know that if your gut has too much bad bacteria and not enough good probiotic bacteria, that all kinds of health problems can arise. Well, from all my research, I also knew that our mouths have a diverse bacterial microbiome, second only to the gut, and that bad bacteria in our mouths was responsible for so much of our poor dental health. Then I remembered that antibiotics use has skyrocketed. For example, have you ever heard of tetracycline? This antibiotic is very powerful and kills off a wide array of bacteria. It was widely prescribed starting in the 1950s, and it reached peak popularity in the 1980s, when it was very often given to pregnant mothers, along with toddlers and adolescents. If you've ever taken an antibiotic, I can say with absolute certainty this is the main reason why you suffer from teeth and gum problems. Even if you haven't directly taken antibiotics, they're impossible to escape, since almost all food is laced with antibiotics from factory-farmed meat and pesticide-sprayed crops, which also kills off all the good bacteria in our mouths. Even mouthwash kills the good bacteria in our mouth. So I wondered, if I find out what these beneficial probiotics are, can I give them to my mom to help rebuild her teeth? And sure enough, as soon as I started diving deeper into this subject, I found scientists had indeed identified incredibly powerful strains of probiotics, ones that are hugely beneficial for dental health. And I'm going to share what those are with you right now. So please pay close attention, because these are not the same probiotics you'll typically find on Amazon or in the local drugstore. In fact, they are uniquely important to your mouth and the bioshield I talked about. So chances are you've never heard of any of them before. First, there's L. salivarius, a probiotic that can be found in the saliva in our mouth. Right away, I was amazed to see that L. salivarius has been shown in studies to help mitigate translocation, which you'll remember is the process by which bad bacteria spreads from one place, like our mouths, to other places, like our bloodstream or organs. Even more impressively, one clinical trial I read said that regularly taking L. salivarius significantly decreased bad breath in patients in just 2 weeks, and that their bleeding gums improved dramatically after 4 weeks too. And that was just one of several major studies I found. In another study, this one published in a journal called BMC Oral Health, scientists gave L. salivarius to a group of adults, and they said that regularly taking the probiotic significantly decreased levels of strep bacteria found in their mouths. While a 2020 study discovered that L. salivarius may reduce pocket depth in our gums, which is very important since those deeper pockets are associated with tooth loss and even gum disease. And then another major study out of Poland even found that L. salivarius can help inhibit the formation of Candida fungus in the mouth. It was almost unbelievable, and I immediately felt mad that I was never taught about L. salivarius in graduate school. There was one problem, though. Not just with L. salivarius, but all of the probiotic strains I discovered, which is that you can't just go take them as a pill. The reason why is pretty straightforward, and it has to do with what I mentioned earlier about our stomach acid. Do you remember what I said? Our stomach acid destroys a lot of good probiotic bacteria. So swallowing some pill with L. salivarius and other mouth-supporting probiotics probably won't do you much good, because those probiotics will just get destroyed by our stomach acid. So instead, there's a very certain way you need to get these probiotics into your system, and it has to do with your saliva. I'll show you how this works in a second. It's actually super easy to do. But first, let me share the other 3 oral health supporting probiotics that I found. Next up, there's Lactobacillus paracasei, an incredible oral probiotic strain that multiple studies have found to protect your mouth from streptococcus bacteria that can colonize the insides of our teeth and turn sugar into enamel-destroying acid. In a 2010 study that was randomized and placebo-controlled, which is pretty much the gold standard of clinical trials, researchers found that taking L. paracasei for 2 weeks led to significantly lower levels of streptococcus in the saliva. And in another study, this one involving young people who were at risk of developing new cavities, scientists found that those who took L. paracasei daily were 4.5 times less likely to develop new cavities. Isn't that remarkable? And the more I looked, the more compelling clinical studies I found, all suggesting that certain special strains of oral probiotics could be the answer I'd been desperately seeking, like B. lactis B104, a very potent probiotic strain that was found in one major study to reduce plaque in just 30 days of use and to reduce gum bleeding after 90 days. Even more amazingly, that same study also observed how B. lactis reduced the adhesion of P. gingivalis to the salivary glands in the mouth, meaning it basically stopped the bacteria that causes gingivitis from penetrating deep into the mouth. While in another major study, scientists reported that when patients with chronic periodontitis took B. lactis regularly, it reduced pocket depth, lowered the amount of bad oral bacteria in the mouth, and even decreased gum inflammation, all in as little as 30 days of use. Okay, now so far we've talked about 3 unique strains of probiotics: L. salivarius, L. paracasei, and B. lactis B104. And there's just one more I want to quickly tell you about, which is L. reuteri. This one might be the best of all, because it's such a potent defender against bad bacteria in our mouths. In fact, in one major human trial that was done by scientists from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Sweden, individuals who took L. reuteri regularly saw a reduction in 8 different types of harmful mouth bacteria, including 2 forms of streptococcus. While in a study from the Institute of Dentistry at Queen Mary University in London, they found that L. reuteri is a powerful destroyer of subgingival plaque. Because I'm sure you might be wondering, subgingival plaque is the type of plaque that hides below our gum line, where it can cause those deep pockets, loose teeth, and even the loss of teeth. Now, all of these studies are amazing, but the best part is what happens when all of these bacteria are in your mouth at the same time. You see, something spectacular happens. Somehow, through thousands of years of evolution, these particular good bacteria have found a way to work together to enhance their survival, while at the same time protecting our teeth. They do this by building the bioshield I talked about earlier, which is essentially a layer of multiple types of bacteria that are held together by a hardened mineral structure. This coats your teeth and protects your gums, making it impossible for bad bacteria, fungus, and plaque to latch on and stick to your teeth, so they just get washed away quickly, which is pretty incredible, right? I still needed to figure out what these minerals were and where to find them. It turns out it's something called tricalcium phosphate, which are the main minerals holding together this bioshield. The main source of tricalcium phosphate is from bones and antlers, and Inuits are well known for making a special caribou antler soup. Finally, everything just clicked. The frozen meat covered in good bacteria, the antler soup filled with minerals. I finally knew the Inuit's secret to perfect teeth and the exact steps to rebuilding this critically important bioshield. By now, I'm sure what you're really wondering is, will rebuilding this bioshield really work for me? Will it help my teeth become stronger and whiter? Will my breath improve? And what about my gums? You're probably thinking, studies are one thing, but how does all of this work in the real world? And if that's you, I can definitely relate, because I was asking those same questions about my mom. And even more importantly, I was wondering what the best way for her to try them all was, so that she'd have the best chance of experiencing their benefits. I knew that a pill wasn't going to cut it because of the stomach acid problem I mentioned before. And I noticed that in virtually all of those studies I just shared with you, along with the dozens of other studies that I didn't have time to mention, these probiotics were almost always put into oral form, most often as a lozenge, something that anyone could simply pop into their mouth and let dissolve, so that the incredibly potent probiotics inside become mixed with our saliva and then go to war, fighting against the bad bacteria and strains of fungus that are spreading further and deeper throughout our mouths each day, and that can even penetrate our bloodstream and our organs too. Well, lozenges sounded great, But in these studies, they were just usually looking at one strain of probiotic, or maybe two tops. And to me, it made the most sense to combine all of them together. Because when it came to my mom, I didn't want to take any chances. The problem was that kind of dental lozenge didn't seem to exist, so I was going to have to make it. Well, that was a tall order. The one thing I did have going for me, though, I was good at researching and solving problems. And so I said a prayer. And then I began reaching out to every single ingredient supplier, manufacturer, and vendor I could find. For the first few weeks, it was mostly unanswered phone calls and dead ends. But then, nearly a month after I'd first discovered the incredible research behind oral probiotics, I caught a break. I found a research lab that sold these unique strains of good bacteria in small amounts for research purposes only. They were incredibly expensive, but this was for my mom, so it was worth it. I ordered everything I needed, including the minerals, and mixed them into a small glass container. I was careful to keep it in the freezer to keep the good bacteria active. Finally, I had a prototype, something I could give to my mom. I remember the day I drove over to her house to share what I'd helped create. It was almost 4 months since I'd first noticed that single yellow tooth, and I was scared. Scared my mom wouldn't want to try it. Scared it wouldn't work. Scared it had all been a waste of money and time and energy. It was terrifying. And when I sat my mom down and told her everything about all my research, about oral probiotics, the mineral structure, and how they come together to create a protective bioshield, it was pretty obvious she was skeptical. But at the same time, amazed that I had spent so much time and effort to help her. I said, "Mom, what do you have to lose?" She knew I was right. Nothing else had really made a difference for her anyways, and she was getting worse. So my mom agreed to give my mixture a try. The deal was simple. She'd take one little scoop and swish it in her mouth each day for the next 30 days, and we'd see if there was any difference. After that, all I could do was wait. The first 3 days or so, there wasn't anything crazy to report. Mom kept making comments about how she didn't really like the taste of the powder, but she did say that her mouth was feeling a little less gross, too, which I took to be a good sign. But it's not like her mouth just magically transformed overnight. Still, I told her to stick to the plan, and thank God she did, because soon after, some pretty amazing things started to happen. By the 12th day or so, Mom's breath was noticeably better. I could finally have a conversation with her without needing to turn my head, and Dad was all too happy to confirm my observation. He told me in private that he was thanking the Lord about Mom's much improved breath. Mom also told me that now, when she woke up in the morning, she no longer felt this desperate need to rush to the sink and brush her teeth. And then there were her gums, which had become noticeably less red. I couldn't tell if it was just me or not, but her teeth were starting to look a bit less yellow too. And from that point on, things only continued to improve. Until by the end of her first month, it was really astonishing how much better Mom's entire mouth appeared. Her teeth were definitely looking whiter. Her gums looked healthy and pink for the first time that I could remember. She was no longer embarrassed about her bad breath at all. She even said that her teeth felt stronger, and that she was once again biting and chewing without grimacing in pain. Mom also told me that it had been weeks since she last tasted any blood in her mouth. And even more remarkably, she said her sinuses and allergies were clearing up, and that she was getting some of the best nights of sleep that she'd experienced in decades, because those splitting headaches were gone. Heck, even her skin, hair, and nails looked healthier. I swear, her face even looked younger, and her memory was improving. It was just such a blessing to see. And as Mom continued to use her dental powder, as she liked to call it, the improvements only magnified. In fact, the turnaround of my mom was so drastic that soon others started to notice as well. Friends from church, family, neighbors, they couldn't stop complimenting Mom on her beautiful smile or asking if she could refer them to her cosmetic dentist. And when Mom said there was no cosmetic dentist, no implants or dentures or veneers, that she was only taking some powder her son made each day, you better believe they all wanted to try her secret. Which, sure enough, led me to getting more and more calls, email, and texts, to the point where I was hearing from dozens of folks each day, all wanting the same dental powder that I'd given to my mom. I wanted to help all those people, of course, but no one would be able to afford the cost. And mixing everything was incredibly time-consuming with these small batches, so it got me thinking, what if I take all these ingredients and find a manufacturer who can make it into a convenient lozenge? But I'd never manufactured a supplement before, let alone some kind of advanced probiotic mouth lozenge. Luckily, my friend had some knowledge about this and introduced me to some folks at a local manufacturing plant. This was a biotech startup that was founded by highly experienced veterans of the nutraceutical and health industries. I spoke with them about the research I'd been doing and shared the personal story behind what my mom had been going through and the amazing results she'd gotten. To my relief, they said they would love to help, although they did ask that I agree to 2 important conditions. Condition number 1 was that they wanted to include some additional ingredients in the lozenge they'd be creating, because they said not only could this make it more effective, but it would also ensure the lozenges actually tasted good too, which they told me was very important, since it doesn't matter how great something is if it tastes awful and nobody ever wants to use it. So they added natural strawberry extract and peppermint leaf extract, which when combined gave the lozenges a cool, fruity, fresh flavor. And they also told me that strawberries contain a tooth-whitening enzyme called malic acid, while peppermint can soothe inflammation and tooth pain quickly and naturally. Then lastly, the team added a natural sweetener complex that included an ultra-high-grade form of stevia. That way the lozenges would be sugar-free, but taste even better. So that was condition number 1. And then the second condition they gave me was that even if we got great results with this new lozenge, I needed to understand that it was going to be very hard to make in big batches. They told me that it's not easy to infuse something like a lozenge with healthy, thriving probiotics, especially if, as they planned to do, those lozenges were created so they wouldn't need to be refrigerated, but that could be kept at room temperature all the time. There's a lot of time, money, and engineering that goes into all of this, they said, so just be warned. Well, I didn't like that second condition very much, but ultimately, I just wanted to help as many people as possible. So I agreed. And with that, the team got to work. It took nearly 4 months of R&D, but finally, after all that time and a lot more money than I expected, especially since, as the folks at the manufacturing company had warned me from the beginning, making each batch was both expensive and time-consuming. We did get one good-sized production run of the dental lozenges we created, and I'm thrilled to say that this formulation worked even better than the powder I initially gave my mom. The testimonials started pouring in through phone calls, emails, and text messages.
My mouth feels cleaner and healthier than ever before. I can't believe how quickly PurDentix works. My sinus issues have cleared up as well, and I can't thank you enough. I'll be ordering more bottles.
My dental problems had gotten so bad that I just accepted them as a fact of my life. My friends and even my wife had turned their heads during conversations because of my bad breath. I tried everything and had given up hope, but that's until I found PurDentix, which has made a tremendous difference. I feel better, I look better, and I'm once again smiling with confidence.
Before trying PurDentix, it was hard to chew without discomfort. Since I started taking these lozenges, there's been a noticeable difference. It no longer hurts to chew, and my gums look much healthier. My breath is always fresh, and my tongue no longer has that white film on it. Thank you.
And those real-life testimonials you just heard are only a few of the hundreds I'm receiving each month. The results were amazing, which brings us to the video you're watching here today. So right now, I want to be the first to introduce you to PurDentix. Now, we agreed to the name PurDentix because that's exactly what it does. It purifies your teeth, your tongue, and your gums of any bad bacteria and fungus, while supplying minerals and building up a dental shield to protect you against anything, leaving you with strong teeth, a bright smile, healthy gums, and fresh breath. And it's designed to help keep the rest of your body stay pure of that bad stuff too, reducing your risk of heart issues, brain fog, and serious infections. Even better, a lot of people say that PurDentix helps with both their sinuses and allergies, that their hair looks healthier and fuller after they try it. And a lot of women talk about how their skin appears more youthful as well. Right now, you're probably asking how you can get your hands on PurDentix for yourself, along with how often you need to take it for best results. Well, honestly, it's probably always going to be pretty difficult for the general public to get PurDentix because the 4 special probiotic strains inside have to be cultivated in a sterile, state-of-the-art facility, then kept fresh through a proprietary process, something that not many supplement manufacturers in the world have technology or desire to do. Additionally, because this breakthrough can lead to such an incredible transformation inside the mouths of those who use it regularly, pretty much everyone keeps ordering more of the stuff after they've tried it because they never again want to lose sleep worrying about bad breath or puffy gums or decaying teeth. PurDentix is even becoming popular with some health professionals, including a few dental offices, which is putting even more of a strain on our inventory levels. And that's on top of the fact that I've only gotten a contract to do one large run of the lozenges anyway. Then there's something else too, which is that while we didn't expect this, even people who aren't too worried about the health of their mouths keep ordering PurDentix. I guess these people know about translocation and bacteria getting into the bloodstream, and they know that good probiotics have a lot of benefits besides just dental health. And while it's awesome that these folks love PurDentix so much, it does ultimately mean that I'm always left feeling worried that we're going to run out of PurDentix soon. Hopefully that doesn't happen. All I know is that if you're seeing this video, then we do have at least a few bottles of these dental lozenges in stock currently, and you'll see how you can get your hands on them in just a second. First though, let's go back to that other question. How do you use PurDentix? That's simple. Just take one lozenge per day for at least 30 days. That's the minimum length of time. Though in a lot of the studies I shared, researchers found that taking these dental probiotics routinely, just like you would a normal daily probiotic, is really your best bet. So it makes sense to keep using these lozenges for at least a few months. Because while the 4 probiotic strains inside go to work pretty much immediately, there could also be a large buildup of bad bacteria and fungus inside your mouth right now. Bacteria and fungus that could be getting into your bloodstream and traveling to your organs, blood vessels, and even your brain. And you want to make sure to give your body the best defense against the bad guys as possible. So even after PurDentix has given you back a healthy, beautiful, and confident smile, you'll want to continue defending against new bacteria and fungus, not to mention the minerals that you'll be supplying to your teeth, helping them rebuild and stay strong. Which is why we recommend that you choose at least 3 bottles of PurDentix and 6 bottles if you want to be completely safe. Then take it for a period of at least 90 days. Do that, and the transformation can be truly amazing. You should also know that PurDentix is only available on this website and only while there are supplies in stock and we're able to stay in business. The truth is, there are some in the $162 billion dental industry who don't like when folks talk about natural but effective breakthroughs like PurDentix. And it wouldn't shock me if at some point some mega corporation or big dental group comes along trying to sue us out of business, which is another reason why we've only committed to doing this one run of PurDentix so far. Because we're thinking that if we only sell a small amount, we won't be such a big target for greedy corporations. I'm not sure if we're right about that or not, but what I do know is that PurDentix gives you an incredible chance to reclaim and improve not just your smile, but every inch of your mouth. And I need to get it into your hands today while I still can. Just think about how good it will feel to no longer be embarrassed by corpse breath or those lunar yellow teeth. Imagine once again being able to bite into a juicy, succulent steak, or to have popcorn at the movie theater, or to indulge in any one of your favorite foods without wincing in pain, or never again worrying about seeing blood when you bring a napkin up to your gums. Think about how good it would feel to have your life back. All it takes is one delicious tasting lozenge per day. And here's the best part. While the folks at the manufacturing plant originally wanted to set the retail price of PurDentix at $149 for a 30-day supply, I pushed back pretty hard until ultimately they agreed to do something that I wish more businesses would do. They agreed to put people over profits and to offer PurDentix to the public during our limited first production run for not $149, but just $69 per bottle. And actually, that's still just the start. Because I understand that giving your mouth a consistent flow of healthy, beneficial oral probiotics and minerals isn't just important to you, it's also important to your family and loved ones. And because I want to make sure that you and those you care about continue to enjoy optimal oral health in the weeks, months, and years to come. I even got them to agree to create a special discounted package plan where you can get 6 bottles of PurDentix, which is a 6-month supply, for only $49 per bottle. That's $100 per bottle less than what we originally planned to retail it for. And it also saves you $120 total compared to the single bottle price. This special discounted package is only being offered to you today through this website as part of our first run program though, and only while supplies last. You'll also get free shipping today when you choose the 6 or 3-month packages, which saves you another $14.99. But both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited. When we run out of PurDentix again, there's no guarantee that we'll keep producing it, though I hope we do. So, click the 6-bottle package or any other package you choose below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the smallest but most important investments that you'll ever make in your health and well-being. A single bottle of PurDentix will have your mouth replenished in beneficial gum and tooth supporting probiotic bacteria. 3 bottles will do the same thing while supplying enough minerals to rebuild your teeth. And 6 bottles of PurDentix will give you an entire 6 months of support as you fight back against bad fungus and bacteria. Oh, and on top of all this, when you order PurDentix today, we're also giving you 3 powerful and important bonuses for free. Bonus number 1. The Truth About Oral Health, normal retail value of $39. This is the digital book that many in the dental industry hope you'll never see, because not only does it expose the truth about some of the biggest scams out there when it comes to oral health, but it's also loaded with powerful natural remedies and protocols that you can use at home for pennies and in a matter of seconds. Like the special all-natural mouthwash that takes only moments to make, but that kills bad germs and bacteria fast. And this is just one of the amazing remedies you'll get inside The Truth About Oral Health. Bonus number 2, Emergency Dental, normal retail value of $27. This highly popular digital book shares proven and cost-effective strategies for dealing with emergencies like abscesses, bleeding, and severe pain without needing to rely on expensive drugs or costly dental procedures. Now, of course, once you start using PurDentix regularly, most emergency dental issues will hopefully be a thing of the past, but we still wanted to include this valuable guide, especially for kids and grandkids. And then lastly, bonus number 3 is exclusive access to our PurDentix VIP area. This access is yours today, completely free. There's no subscription or anything like that. Just an amazing private community created just for folks like you, where you'll get all kinds of additional tips, tricks, and guides for perfect teeth, including a safe and effective way to whiten your teeth at home for free, the definitive guide for how to safely remove mercury fillings, and so much more. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking that this all sounds really exciting, and you're asking, how do I get started? Just click the 6-bottle package or any other package you choose below this video right now to secure your order. You'll then go to the secure checkout page where you'll enter your order details. Within just a few business days from now, you'll receive PurDentix right to your front door in a discreet package. So go ahead, click the 6-bottle package or any other package you choose below this video right now while there are still bottles in stock. This should be an absolute no-brainer because you're also covered by a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. It works like this. Begin using PurDentix now. Feel the way the powerful ingredients inside go to work in your mouth, and notice how much better your breath becomes, how much healthier your gums appear, the way your teeth look stronger than ever each time you gaze into the mirror. You may also find that your allergies don't seem nearly as bad as they were previously, or that your sleep is a lot better and you're snoring less, or that you're no longer grinding your jaw. And a lot of folks report that they notice a major improvement in their hair, skin, and nails, and immunity as well. Well, I'm so excited to hear what your story with PurDentix will be, because I just know it's going to be an incredible one too. But if for any reason I'm wrong and that's not the case, simply call or email my 24/7 customer service team and we will give you a prompt and immediate refund with 0 questions asked. You have nothing to lose here except the bacteria and fungus that's destroying your mouth. It's a 100% risk-free investment. So go ahead and click the 6-bottle package or any other package you choose now and get started right away. This presentation is now ending and the ultimate decision is yours. One of your choices is to stop watching this video and go on with your day. That's your right. But what will change if you make that choice? How are you going to feel in a month, 6 months, or a year from now? If you don't take action today and you're still suffering from a mouth that's overrun by bad bacteria and fungus, and if that bacteria and fungus has gotten into your bloodstream, one can only guess how that may be affecting other aspects of your life too. Your digestion, your sleep, your mood, your memory, even perhaps the way your body puts on weight or stores fat. All of these things and so much more. And the sad truth is that most people wait too long to act. It's such a shame. Why do that? Why wait until the hell inside your mouth becomes unbearable? I'm not saying this to get morbid or to scare you. I'm truly not. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be a victim. And I'm telling you this because I want you to make the right choice. by taking back your health and clicking one of the buttons you see below this video. Right now, you can get PurDentix for just $69 per bottle, and for even less than that if you get one of my more popular packages. Plus, because I really want to support you during every step of this journey, I'm also giving you free shipping on the 3 and 6 bottle options, and those 3 added bonuses as an extra incentive to make the right decision today. When supplies of PurDentix run out though, I don't know when, if ever, we'll get more in, which means you really must act now. My mission is to help anyone and everyone to have a healthy mouth and a stunning smile. No matter your age, no matter if you think your mouth is too far gone now, I want you to know that there is hope, and all it takes is you and the click of a button. It's your decision, but this is your last chance. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Sincerely, John Furman. Still here? No problem. I know we just covered a lot. To help you out, let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions you might have. 1. How does PurDentix work again? It's pretty straightforward. PurDentix contains 4 unique probiotic strains that have been shown to help counter the bad bacteria and fungus that can form inside our mouths. Now, there are multiple reasons this bad bacteria forms and spreads, but the main reason is a lack of good bacteria that's been destroyed by dentistry, fluoride, and rampant antibiotic use. Research shows that the ingredients inside PurDentix can help balance your oral microbiome while supporting healthy teeth and gums. It also helps rebuild the bioshield that protects your mouth against tooth decay, bleeding gums, and bad breath. 2. Why haven't I heard of PurDentix before? So far, thousands of Americans have used PurDentix and the reviews have been exceptional. That being said, however, this is our first large production run, and many manufacturing partners have told me that they're unsure if they'll do another one after this, due to the high expenses and low margins associated with creating this advanced mineral probiotic lozenge. So while I expect that PurDentix probably will start getting some press pretty soon, I don't know if it'll ever become mainstream. I hope it does, because I know just how powerful this breakthrough can be, but we will have to see. 3. Who is PurDentix for? PurDentix is for anyone who wants to feel confident in their mouth and their smile. From bad breath to yellow teeth or swollen gums, the oral probiotics found inside each delicious-tasting lozenge can help support your dental health. 4. What happens once I click the button below? Once you choose your package below, you'll go to our 100% secure checkout page. Then just enter your payment information and place your order. After that, you'll receive PurDentix in the next few business days, which means you're less than a week away from the journey to a brand new mouth. 5. How long until I get results? It varies, of course, but in many of the studies I mentioned in this video, researchers saw noticeable differences in folks' oral health within the first weeks. And anecdotally, we have plenty of customers who report that their breath feels fresher and that their mouth feels cleaner in as little as 24 hours. Having said that, it's best to take it for at least 3 months, and 6 months if you want full protection. 6. Can you remind me of the guarantee you mentioned? Absolutely. PurDentix comes with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That means you order PurDentix today, and then you have a full 2 months to decide if it's right for you. If you're like many of the thousands of people who have used PurDentix already, then you will be thrilled with the results. But if you're not for any reason, simply call or email my customer service team, and we'll refund your investment with 0 questions asked. 7. How long will PurDentix be available? That's hard to say. The team has only agreed to do this one production run of the dental lozenges. I'm really hoping we can convince them to make more of it in the future, but only time will tell. All right, I really want PurDentix. What now? This part is simple. Just click the 6-bottle package, or any other package you choose, below this video right now and complete your order. And PurDentix will be in your hands in just a few business days from now. Plus, there's no risk because of my ironclad guarantee. And all it takes is you and the click of a button. It's your decision, but this is your last chance. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Sincerely, Dr. John Furman.